So basically, I had recently a huge life learning out of this Rubik cube. I would definitely assume that you also want to proceed with these kind of learning. So I thought of it to sharing with you guys. So let me share it. So how it all starts. Once you have a pattern, so in the Rubik world is you find a flower. So you see that Gänseblümchen of German or a daisy flower in English. Once you have the daisy flower, then you cover the basic. What does that mean basically? In a real life perspective? Once you have that flower in your mind on top of the Rubik cube or in top of your head, then you master the basic, and basic is always the discipline. So let me make some discipline there. So once you will have a discipline, you will see the pattern of having the discipline. So that's the initial pattern. Once you have that pattern, so initially you have to have the thought of having a discipline first. So after having the thoughts, you create the discipline. So after having the discipline, you master the level of discipline at every corner. So let me do that, and that would be right. So once you had that discipline, so initially you had to have that, or you have to have that thoughts that you want to change something. Once you made the decision, you cover up the discipline. Once you have the discipline in pattern first, you make the discipline overall. Once you make the discipline, you will notice that by making the discipline, you will cover up every basic of your mind, of your skill set, of your niche, or everything which is related to your discipline. Moving on. So now, this time the thought would be, once you have that thought, now you have created the discipline. After having the discipline, I'll turn out the cube like this one. Discipline is always the basic or the ground level. You have to have that always as a must. By having the discipline, you will always get the basic. So once the basic is covered, you wanna always master the second level. So after you will master the second level, then you will become an expert there. But in order to become an expert, you need to master the advanced. So let's do the advanced level now. So once you have that discipline, with discipline comes the basic. Once you have that basic, you always master the second level of mastery, meaning you become a next level expert, but you are not an 100% niche expert, and you become an expert at every thing, or you every level which you think of you wanna proceed in your life or everything. So once you have that, then you become an expert. But in order to become an expert, you see that discipline was always the most important thing. With the discipline, it becomes the basic. After having the basic, it becomes easier to get to the advanced level. Once you have that advanced level, you need to start again thinking at the another level. You see that I don't see the pattern here, so I need to change now the pattern first. So I need to create a pattern now. So in that essence, let me create a pattern first and you will realize. So I had to create a pattern here in the Rubik cube, but in the real world, I had to change my thoughts a bit to become the master. Meaning, I had to make a pattern first. So after I will have the pattern, you will realize that some of the things are already making sense already. Some of the patterns are getting clear, but it's not 100% clear. So let's make it more clear. So once you will think a bit differently afterwards, you will realize that things are starting to make more sense now. You will have pattern at every level, at every level, at every level, at every level, and every level contains the pattern. Every level contains the pattern. Notice carefully, none of the corner is containing not the pattern, it's always having the pattern there. So meaning pattern comes always with the discipline, because that discipline replicates in the whole pattern everywhere. So now I'm moving on further. To become an expert, you need to change or think like a master now. So make sure to have the mastery there. Let me clarify one thing, so I'll get back to the topic. Good. Oh, cool. So ist auch gut, so ist auch gut, so ist auch gut. So after having the pattern at every level, you need to make sure that your thoughts are not making 100% the whole sense. However, it should make some logical sense, not the 100%, but it should make some logical sense there. So look for the colors there: green, orange, and yellow. It should comes under those green, orange, and yellow, and it should replicate at the whole corners. So you will realize that okay, you are getting one step closer to becoming an expert there. So the next part is that once you have that, you need to think like another level, or so to say, you have to think again like the beginning. You have to turn around everything to make sure that you are becoming an expert there. So let me do that again. You see, once you had that discipline in the bottom, that discipline becomes the habit at the end, in top of your mind, then it becomes really easy to solve even from the bottom or from every aspect of your life. So that was the lesson. Hopefully you got also something out of it. Thank you.